NFC South Roundtable, how are we doing? It is your usual suspects back at it again with another preview video. Here we are going to be breaking down everything that is about to happen in week 15 for the NFC South. Going to break down each of these games, and each of these guys are going to give their thoughts on the opposing games. Also, as always, I'm your host, Colby Cochran, here with Roundtable Sports. Today's video, as always, brought to you by BetUS. Right now, when you guys sign up, super quick, I've done it myself, takes less than 60 seconds, and you guys use the promo code that you see on the screen, YouTube150. That is YouTube 150. You'll lock yourself into a limited time exclusive offer of a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, followed by 125% sign-up bonus on your next two deposits, all the way up to $2,000. That is a deal on your first three deposits. Great thing is that not only can you use it on NFL games, but you can use it on NFL futures, like the NFL awards that are coming up very shortly in just a couple of months. You got the NFL draft right around the bend. You can also use it on hockey. You can use it on college football, basketball, baseball, horse racing, fighting, politics, entertainment, you name it, they're going to have it. I don't know what just happened with my screen there, but that was something that was interesting. But make sure you guys go ahead and sign up, because right now, not only can you get that exclusive offer, but you can also get a 200% crypto deposit bonus, 10% back on your net losses 2 times a year. And BetUS is also giving you your very own personalized account manager. BetUS also has the fastest payouts in the industry, a fast and easy deposit and withdrawal process, and live wagering on all major games. Remember that supporting the sponsors that supports the channel, supports everybody. Not just here at the NFC South Roundtable, but also at Roundtable Sports. But most importantly, play smart and never bet more than you can afford to lose. But fellas, let's just start hopping into these games. And James, I want to start with you because Tampa Bay is going over to face the Chargers, another playoff team there for the AFC. Want to get your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. Obviously, this is I would say this is probably one of the tougher games left on the Bucs schedule. The Chargers have, done a lot of good things this year under Jim Harbaugh. I think that he's a great coach, and I think that he's done some really good jobs with the Chargers so far this year. And this is not going to be easy. I do think in some ways, though, that the Bucs match up relatively well against the Chargers. The Chargers are a team that likes to run the football. The Buccaneers have guys like Elijah Cansey and Vita Vea on that defensive line. The Chargers don't necessarily love to pass the ball a ton, thankfully, because the Bucs have one of the worst passing defenses in the NFL. So I could actually see the Buccaneers going in here and being very competitive. It also helps that I believe J.K. Dobbins will not be playing in this game. So they've, definitely had some issues in terms of replacing the production with guys like Gus Edwards and some of the other guys in that running back room. That's the Bucs defensively versus the Chargers offensively. Now for the Bucs offensively, look, the Chargers still have a lot of good pieces. They've still got a lot of really good guys. Derwin James is still there. You've also, got some interesting guys like Perryman at linebacker and Henley at linebacker as well. So the Bucs are going to have to continue to rely on playmakers. Mike Evans is going to have to continue to be involved. The running backs of Bucky Irving, which hopefully he's more healthier in this upcoming game, and Rachaad White, who had a good game last week, over 100 yards of scrimmage and 2 touchdowns, are all 3 of those guys are going to have to perform. And even K. Dotton got involved last week yet again. So those guys are definitely going to have to be on their P's and Q's. This is, I think, going to have to be a game where the offense continues to try and carry this team going forward. Just because of also, again, just a lot of the injuries the Bucs have on the defensive side of the ball. Yes, they do match up well in terms of Vita Vea and Elijah Cansey, but they're down to like their 4th string linebacker, man, and all of their safeties are hurt. It's not a fun time right now on that defensive side of the ball. I will go ahead and give the Bucs the win here. I think that this will be an interesting game. I do think it will be a very close game. Whenever I look at some of the teams that the Chargers have beaten this year, not a lot of them are necessarily very good. The Raiders, the Panthers, before they started playing really good football, the Saints, after they had kind of been in that turmoil point. I believe that was before they fired Dennis Allen. I can't remember off the top of my head.
It was.
The Browns, the Titans, the Falcons, now that they're also in free fall mode, like these have been some of the wins that the Chargers have gotten this year. So I do absolutely believe there is not only a chance that the Bucs can win in this game, but I will go ahead and give them that win. I will say it will be a close one though, and that's been one thing the Chargers have been, is a very gritty, but also like keeping games close as a football team. I have the Bucs winning, we'll say 21-17.
Ooh, all right, TJ, let's go on over to you. What do you think about this big matchup between the Bucs and Chargers?
I think this is a bad matchup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is going to be one of those games where you're probably going to be upset with Baker Mayfield. Look, if you look at the Chargers defense, like they're a very opportunistic defense. And even though Baker Mayfield, he's a gamer, he can be a little bit reckless. And I think that, the Chargers, they're able to get pressure on the quarterback. They're able to like generate turnovers. And you also have Justin Herbert out there, he can throw the football. So even if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they try to stop the run, you still have Justin Herbert with the capability of throwing his team to victory here. So I just think it's going to be a tough matchup. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to the West Coast for this game, a long trip there. And, you look at how the Chargers lost against the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, what a doink for the division, as they're calling it. I think they're going to be fired up to try to win this football game. So I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, luckily for them, they reached like a little bit of the schedule where they played against some teams where they should have beaten, and they took advantage of those opportunities. But I think the Chargers, a little bit of a tough matchup, man. So I think they're going to win this football game. I agree with you. It's going to be close, but it might be one of those situations where you're going to look at this game, Baker Mayfield going to make his fair share of mistakes.
Ooh, all right, Clay, let's go down to you. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I feel like this game is almost unpredictable. Almost like I think the injuries have decimated the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield and guys like Bucky Irvin have kept this team afloat, I feel like. But the Chargers can't screw this one up. I mean, they're an 8-5 team with the playoffs in sight, but their offense is maddeningly inconsistent, especially in the wide receiver room and in the run game. I mean, Justin Herbert is really the only person he's got is Ladd McConkey, and that's it. I expect chaos. Either team could win here. I think the Chargers, though, should squeak this one out. I do believe that Chargers defense is better than the Tampa Bay's, but Tampa Bay could easily flip the script in this one if the Chargers aren't sharp in this game. I think it's going to be close, but I'm going to take the Chargers in a close matchup, 24-22.
All right, Smitty, why don't we go ahead and wrap this one up?
Yeah, I'm going my boy right there, man. I'm going Chargers. I think that, like TJ said, that defense is opportunistic. Derwin James is a beast. As much as he played in the box against the Falcons and forced those bad throws, you will see a lot of blitzing from this team. I think Bosa, Khalil Mack, I think they'll have a pretty good game. And that run game of San Diego, I think that's going to be the difference. Yeah, Justin Herbert can make plays, Ladd McConkey, like you said. But I still think they have enough firepower to run the football. Gus Edwards played for Jim Harbaugh's brother in Baltimore, and they run the same type offense basically. So I think they'll force turnovers. Baker Mayfield probably throws 2 to 3 interceptions. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go 17-14 Chargers.
All right, guys, let us know in the comment section below what you think about this Bucs and Chargers game, your score predictions, and who you have winning. But fellas, let's get into this next game. And TJ, this is where we kick it to you, because the Washington Commanders will be facing the New Orleans Saints. Jaden Daniels, who's playing some of the hottest football in the league this season. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think this is a bad matchup for the New Orleans Saints. If you look at the Saints historically, they struggle against quarterbacks that can scramble, move around in the pocket. I mean, this is a nightmare for them. I mean, I don't care if it's a really good running quarterback like a Jaden Daniels or a backup than Josh Dobbs. It doesn't matter. If that quarterback has the ability to scramble, then it gets them fits. You think about the talent of the Commanders. I mean, you think about Terry McLaurin. You think about some of these, the running back, Brian Robinson, also Austin Eckler. I just think this is a bad matchup for the New Orleans Saints. I think they're going to be formidable in this game because they're playing at home. I think they're going to play this game as tough as they possibly can. But the Commanders, they are a good football team. And they seem like they're trending in the right direction. And I just think that, the New Orleans Saints are probably going to end up losing this football game due to Jaden Daniels and his ability to scramble, extend plays. And you look at some of the issues in the secondary, young, inexperienced guys and feast or famine type players. I think this is going to be a tough matchup for him. And I think the Commanders are going to win this game by at least 10 points. And not to mention, you don't know who your quarterback is going to be, rather it's Jake Haener or Spencer Rattler, two young, inexperienced guys that you're going to have leading the charge. Even though the offensive line is back intact for the first time since week 3, I still think that it's not going to be enough for the New Orleans Saints to keep pace with the Commanders.
Ooh, all right, Clay, what do you think? Is there any way that the Saints can pull off the upset?
They've lost their quarterback. They've got a coach who's their interim head coach. You trade away Marshawn Lattimore. This team is moving forward to 2025. That's what they're looking forward to at this point. I think the Commanders should dominate this game. They're coming off a late bye. Washington is rested. They're primed to stomp a broken team right now. Anything less than a blowout, I'll be surprised. I'm going to say a 30-16 win for the Commanders. It feels like an underestimation given the fact that really the Saints are in a complete dysfunction right now.
Smitty, what do you think about this one? I think you're muted there, Smitty.
I agree with Clay. I think it's going to be a blowout, man. I think Jaden Daniels had his best game to date. I could see them scoring 35 to 42 points, 6-7 touchdowns. Because the Saints, man, they're just in disarray right now, and I think they're going to take advantage of that. Dan Quinn, veteran head coach, he's going to have his team ready to go. So yeah, I'm going to take the Commanders in this one easily.
All right, James, are you going to take the upset here, or are you taking the safe bet?
I'm also going to go with the Commanders. I think that, much like what Clay and Smitty were saying and TJ, this is obviously a Saints team where it's like, yeah, they can definitely still beat teams like the Giants and the Raiders and stuff like that. But there's very clearly a ceiling with this team. And I just think that, frankly, the Commanders are just the more talented team right now. They've got pieces all over the board offensively and defensively. And I think just to keep it short and sweet, I just don't think the Saints, with where they are right now in their season, just don't have the dogs to keep up in this race. So I do have the Commanders winning this game. I will say 28-17.
All right, guys. Well, as always, this is where we kick it to you. Let us know in the comment section below what you think about Jaden Daniels and the Commanders facing the New Orleans Saints. But fellas, let's get into this next game. And Clay, I'm excited to hear about this one because the Dallas Cowboys are traveling to Carolina to face your Panthers. The Panthers who, granted, yes, you guys have been losing games, but that's against the Eagles. That's against the Chiefs. And it has come down to the wire. The Cowboys not playing very good football lately, so maybe an opportunity for you to get into the win column. What you think about this?
Yeah, I think that at this point for the Dallas Cowboys, they're irrelevant. I think that this is where the Carolina Panthers become the Carolina Reapers once again, where they could get Mike McCarthy fired, which means because without that, anyway. they're playing out the string. Nobody cares what happens with them this season. Bryce Young is the story here. It's still the storyline of Bryce Young. The Panthers he's finally showing why they mortgaged their future for him. He's starting to revive his career. He's starting to look legit, and let's see if that continues moving forward. I think this defense is starting to come together. We still can't stop the run to save our lives. These are the two worst run defenses in the league going against each other. But there is a difference. Carolina's sacking the quarterback. They're averaging 3 to 4 sacks a game right now since week 10. I think the Panthers are unlucky, but we're a dangerous team. Despite a terrible record, they're playing tough. They should notch an upset here, win, even though we're favored. I still consider this more of an upset because Cowboys losing to a 3-10 team is going to be hilarious to America because it's completely believable with this Dallas squad. So I'm taking my Carolina Panthers to get the win here. I'm going to go 24-19.
All right, Smitty, what do you think? Are you taking the Panthers here?
Yeah, I'm taking the Panthers too, man. After watching that game the other night, that killed all the Dallas spirit, man. Even Michael Parsons walked off the field before shaking hands with anybody. He was just tired, man. And Mike McCarthy, he's gone at the end of the season. No way around it. I think Chuba Herbert has a big game. Even I see Bryce Young even throwing for 300 yards. Dallas is just that bad. And honestly, CJ Lamb is crazy for playing on that busted shoulder. I'd take this game off, man, because what do you have to play for at this point? But I'll take the Panthers. I'm going to go, I'll say 20-13 Panthers. I think they can hold Dallas to 13 points.
All right. And James, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Carolina Panthers in this one. I agree with the guys here where Dallas is just, look, they've got talent, right? Like they've got talent, but obviously your quarterback goes down. That's not good. And whenever the locker room feels essentially lost at this point, that's signs of, yeah, this team isn't going to win many more games like what's going on in Dallas right now. Meanwhile, the Panthers are kind of doing the exact opposite, right? Like they're discovering their quarterback. Their team is still playing very hard and being very competitive. So Cooper Rush is not necessarily the most threatening quarterback in the world, in my opinion. So I do have Carolina winning this game. And you know what? Heck, I'll say they drop, I'll say they score 31 points against the Cowboys. And
Wow.
and 3 touchdowns for Chuba Hubbard. I'll say that.
I can agree with that. I can't be mad about that one.
And I'll say the Cowboys score, let's say, 20.
Ooh, okay. Well, TJ, let's go over to you. Wrap us up with this game. Are you going to make it 4-4 in favor of the Panthers?
Man, I already told you when the Panthers got Dennis Allen fired, they got to believe in me. You know, Bryce Young I'm a believer in Bryce Young. Look, when you lose Overshown, your star linebacker, he has to get surgery. Michael Parsons disinterested. They couldn't already stop the run in the first place. I mean, this just sets up a game where Chuba Hubbard can run wild. And I look at the Dallas Cowboys, and it's pretty much inevitable that Mike McCarthy is going to get fired at the end of the season. But the Carolina Panthers have become that team that shows upper management, like, if we lose to the Panthers, then we just don't care. And I don't know how they got to this point, but it's like whoever plays the Panthers, and if you don't put forward an effort, then that's just an indicator that you need to go in a different direction. And I think that this game is going to speak that type of language. I got the Carolina Panthers winning this football game.
All right, guys. Well, all of our panelists are going to be taking the Carolina Panthers. Let us know in the comment section below. Are you taking the Panthers or are you taking the Cowboys? But let's go ahead and get into this final game. Kick it to you, Smitty, because the Atlanta Falcons are traveling to Vegas to play the Raiders on Monday Night Football. Is this a get-right game for you? Because the Raiders have lost, 8 games in a row now?
9 in a row.
9 in a row now. Wow.
Yeah, this has to be a get-right game. You look at Las Vegas as a team, man. Antonio Pierce, I hate he got thrown into that situation. He probably should have took another job, maybe a college job, because this team is awful. You look at defensively, they're middle of the pack. They're middle of the pack on defense. So you can attack them either way. But again, I just still think the run game with the way that Kirk Cousins is playing, you got to lean on Bijan and Tyler Algier again. You've got to find a way to set up the play action and see, can Kirk Cousins come through, because he's going to be the X factor of them winning this football game. If he has another awful game this game against a 2-11 team, if you don't bench him, that says a lot about your front office. And I'm going to just keep it at that. But defensive wise, 9 sacks the last 2 games. You got to take advantage of Desmond Ridder. You already know what he can do, and pretty much nothing from where he was with Atlanta the last couple of years. So you know how to attack him. They're last in rushing with just 79 yards a game as a team. So you make them one-dimensional with your defense. I think that is a big key to them winning this football game other than Kirk Cousins. So I think they can actually do that, keep them one-dimensional. I like Zamir White, but guess what? Probably not going to play. I'm taking my Falcons, and I think they bounce back this game. I think this is one of those games that if they lose, all hell going to break loose in the offseason. So I'm taking the Falcons in this one on Monday Night Football. I think they can put up 24. I go 24-14 Falcons.
All right. What about you, James? Are you going to take the Falcons to get right?
I've got 4 words. Desmond Ridder revenge game. I'm joking. I'm joking. The Raiders suck. They're awful. They're literally awful. No, the Falcons are going to win this game. I'll keep it short. Like the Raiders, they're really bad. Like they're really bad, man. They're bad. Like I think I said this after the Bucs game against the Raiders. So I was like, I feel like 75% of the Raiders roster is like not going to be on the team anymore after this season. Like it is just a bunch of just random dudes. So, and I don't even know if their head coach is going to stick around. Antonio Pierce. It like Smitty said, if the Falcons somehow lose this game, number one, I'm pretty sure TJ is going to throw a parade. But number two,
I never hit the end of that.
We seriously, we'll have to dedicate the whole show next week to it. But number two, I agree with Smitty. All hell is going to break loose, and it should at that point, because I'm going to have the Falcons winning this game. I'll say they score 28 points, and I'm going to say the Raiders score 7.
Ooh, the Raiders score only 7 points. TJ, let's kick this to you. Are you kind of on the same wavelength that James and Smitty are with the Falcons getting right?
If the Falcons lose this football game, man, look, I know Raheem Morris just got there, but they really gonna have to like question, like, is this guy the solution to the problem here? I mean, I think Atlanta going to win this football game. I'm not going to be, I try to be objective when it comes to this. The Raiders are a bad football team, and I honestly feel like, knowing their owner and the way he operates, I think he wants to lose this football game. Like, he sees these posts by Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders, and he knows that Shedeur Sanders wants to come to Vegas, and he knows that Shedeur Sanders can bring some cachet to Las Vegas. So you get Shedeur Sanders by losing football games, and I think that they're going to continue. But I will say this: they have one bright spot, well, two on this team, Max Crosby, but Brock Bowers is a freaking beast. Man, is he fun to watch. You hate to see him dealing with this situation, and he's doing this with bad quarterback play. So imagine what he's going to do when they actually get a quarterback. But I do have the Falcons winning this football game. Should be a bounce back for him.
That is a
and
scary,
honestly, I think Deion Sanders ends up being the coach there as well.
Wow.
Ooh, wow, a Sanders party in Vegas. How about that? Clay, let's go down to you. Wrap us up here with today's video. Are you also going to take the Falcons?
Well, first things first, the Falcons right now are a mess. I said it in our live show. Like, Kirk Cousins has been so bad. I wouldn't be surprised if they bench him mid-game. That's not exactly a ringing endorsement, but like, the Raiders have fight. The record sucks, but they're competing every week, and Desmond Ridder has revenge fuel against his old team. Max Crosby is a problem. Brock Bowers is a problem. Both of these guys could tear right the Falcons offense and defense, and the Raiders have enough weapons to really steal this game. But my prediction here is the Falcons are the favorite, and I think they still win this game. I think the Falcons, this is a get-right game for them. I think they can, and I think Smitty's right, and he hit the nail on the head. You have to live with your bread and butter, and that is Algier and Bijan Robinson. So give me the Falcons, 27-13.
Smitty, I want to ask you a quick question. If the Falcons lose this game and then they end up not making the playoffs, do they fire Raheem Morris?
Ooh, I think, honestly, they have no choice, but we've seen stranger things. Dan Quinn stayed 2 years too long. So, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if he stayed, but I'm telling you, if that does happen, ticket sales will go down, fans will be disinterested, and probably lose the locker room as well. So we'll see.
Oh, so a get-right game for the Falcons, and honestly, a game that they have to win, not just to keep their postseason hopes, but honestly, just to keep the sanity of not just ownership, but also that fan base. But guys, let us know your thoughts about these games.
Before we get out of here, if they lose this game as well, you got to talk about busting down the rebuild again, and that's taking 2 steps back. That's another 3, 4, 5 year rebuild. So this game is going to determine their future the next 5 years.
Yeah, maybe not even just a win, but a confident win, maybe even a blowout against one of the worst teams in the league. This is the type of win that you need to get, the type of blowout that you need to
Right.
get to really make a statement. But again, guys, let us know what you think about these games in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on your way out. Subscribe here to the NFC South Roundtable. And of course, subscribe to these guys' individual channels linked in the description box below. Make sure to show them some love and support. But until next time, remember, today's video brought to you by BetUS. But until next time, we will see you live next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern to break down these games. Stay safe.